We are back on gaming, and you know what? Everything that I said in the last gaming video seems to have spilled over into this gaming video, because once again, you're proving me right. But before I get started on the games, I guess we have to start talking about the bullshit. And I say the bullshit due to the fact that what happened at VidCon, and we have to talk about this, because this week's video is going to be really interesting due to the fact that it's actually even really easy. Because the way people act, all you do is keep giving me ammo. That's all you keep doing. Alright? So it's easy to show you what's going on, or easy to talk about what's going on. And here's the thing as well, because when I talk about these people, other people get mad. Why are you getting mad? Don't get mad at me for the way someone else acted. That's just stupid. Okay? That's just stupid. You should get on them for the way they acted, or what they said. But no, you don't do that. No. You always get mad at me for showing you what they said. Kill the messenger, right? Anyways, let's talk about VidCon, alright? Now, before I get started on VidCon, I think some of you need to know exactly how I feel about VidCon. Fuck VidCon, alright? I said this on Twitter, I'll say it again, for years I've said it, alright? VidCon is nothing but a bunch of losers, alright, who have an ego about themselves all of a sudden because they got some followers, and they decide to have a convention and circle jerk each other. That's all it is. It's stupid as far as I'm concerned. You don't need a convention simply for video makers. That's dumb as fuck as far as I'm concerned. Nobody in the real world gives a shit about the majority of what goes on here on YouTube. Nobody does, alright? Like I said, those video makers that you keep seeing, and I've seen all the pictures, oh, these are such legendary people. No, the fuck they're not. The real world doesn't care. These legendary people walk down the fucking street, the people wouldn't even know who the fuck they were, alright? So no, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't fucking matter. However, that's what makes this even funnier. It does. Because, let's be honest here. What happened with Anita, yeah, I know. We need to talk about this. I know. What happened with Anita is absolutely hilarious. You can't, look. You can't get mad because somebody came to your panel and sat front row, didn't say shit, didn't say a damn thing, and you get mad. I'm harassed. I'm being harassed. This is bullshit. No, that's not how it is. Look, this is what this is. Let me tell you exactly what this is. This is online coward syndrome. This is talking shit behind a camera for years and years and years. Now you see him in person, and it's like, you gotta deal with the consequences now. And you freak out and go into meltdown mode where it's like, I'm just a victim now. Oh my God, they're here to harass me. Solely here to harass me. Get the fuck out of here. That is such bullshit. That is absolutely horrible. But I will say this, okay? They knew what they were doing going to the panel. They knew. Let's be real here, alright? Y'all got together, and y'all got in the front row, and y'all just wanted to sit there like this and say, yeah, we're here. You know what I mean? And they didn't have to do anything. It's quite clear, they didn't have to. You know what I mean? I mean, you go to these panels, you know, you ask questions, and that's the thing. I don't think that Anita Sarkeesian was going to be able to answer any questions that came her way. She knew she was going to get grilled. She knew that it was the consequences were there. Because you can't block people in real life. Like I said, you talk shit about people, you see them in real life, now she's like, oh shit, what do I do? And that's exactly what happened. So then she went on this, I'm harassed, and these fuckers in the front row, and blah, blah, blah. And of course you got idiots. You go, girl! Woo, you go, girl! Get the fuck out of here, man. Come on. It was really pathetic how this went down. Everyone got what they wanted, though. Don't get me wrong. Anita got her victimhood back, you know what I mean? So you can see it. Sargon and them, you see that, you know, they really didn't do anything, but they got that attention, and she actually proved them right on how she acts. Because you have to realize that Anita is crazy as shit, obviously. Her business is about being a victim. And now that she has set the bar, I don't know what you want to call it, high or low, all right? Apparently now, all you got to do is go there and look at somebody, and they're being harassed. So, I guess it would have been worse if you went there and coughed. That's harassment. I guess if you went there and scratched your head, that's harassment. I mean, like, the bar has been set now that if you go there and don't say shit and you just look at her, it's harassment. That's what it is now, alright? So, that's the bar that's set. Now, here's the thing. It's absolutely ridiculous. She's not that great of a public speaker. She doesn't know how to handle adversity. Clearly, she's used to being in this echo chamber where if she says stuff, people just agree with her and clap like seals. That's what she's used to. She's not used to any pushback. And because, as we know, her narrative would be destroyed if people actually took her to task. Why do you think that she didn't take that debate against Christina Summers? Why do you think she didn't do that? Because she knew that her narrative would be destroyed. Instead, what did she do? She went along and made a song making fun of her. Yeah, because that's the adult thing to do. Especially when this is your business. See, that's what it is. You want to try and denounce or degrade her by making a song. We're not going to forget this shit. And then she goes along and calls these people garbage human beings. All right, hold on. You want to know who's a garbage human being? A person like Anita who has used mass shootings, as soon as they happen, mass shootings for her narrative, for her business, and try to say, oh, this is just masculinity. So fuck all the people that are going through some serious shit right now, and the families, and there's people who experience that stuff. Nope, this masculinity, I'm using it right away. That's a garbage human being for you. But of course, if you say that, I'm being harassed. No, it's the truth. If you cannot handle criticism, you're in the wrong field, okay? We already know that you're a fraud as it is. And here's another thing I've noticed as well, all right? Because Anita gets mad at all these people, and of course they're two extremes, all right? They are. You have an extreme side who really wants to get at Anita, and don't get me wrong, I can understand why. But then you have another side of Anita and her fans that are very extreme and say, oh, this is about gaming, and Anita's made it very clear it's not about gaming, but that's what she used because that was the popular medium at the time. So here's the thing. All this arguing going on that I've seen, not just for the previous couple days, VidCon and everything, but just in general, I see on Twitter a lot. And they say this is in, the sense of gaming, and gamers are fighting over things. When is anyone playing any fucking video games? I'm just wondering. Because as far as I'm concerned, I see more arguing about video games on Twitter than actually people playing them. I don't get it. Why would you waste your time so much arguing about them? Oh, well, this is what they said at Polygon. Who gives a shit with Polygon? Polygon, Kotaku, and all them, they're nothing but a bunch of fucking tabloids. That's all they are. They look for things so that they can have some type of, some clicks and views. And if they can't find anything, then they gotta make shit up. You know how they are. And yet people still go to them. So that should tell you something about our community, okay? We don't have as many gamers as you think. And they're so worried about the identity culture and the gender wars and all this shit. Why? And then you know how bad these places are, yet you still go to them. I don't get that. Not to mention, use the links from them. I don't understand that either. I don't get it. All of them. You should know. GameSpot, Kotaku, Polygon, Rock, Paper, Shotgun. All these places. All the big names. All the big places. They're all in conjunction. We saw what the Game Journalist Pros, but no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to, right? Because that's just nothing. Damn that Gamergate. We have to rev this back up to keep our Patreon bucks going. That's what it is. All right? So, when people ask VidCon, would Anita be banned because she did, let's be honest here, she broke the rules of VidCon by harassing someone else who hasn't harassed her there, who's just standing there, who's sitting there watching her, and she points him out and focuses specifically on Sargon and calls him all types of names in front of all these people. That is harassment. You cannot do that. Okay? So you broke the rules. Now here's the thing. People thought that Anita was going to be banned from VidCon because of her actions. Now, in a logical world, yes, she would be. She would be. All right? But you got to look at it from a business standpoint. And when people were calling for her to get banned, would it be the right thing to do? Morally, yes. Business-wise, no. Which is why I knew it wasn't going to fucking happen. Alright? So when they backed Anita, I'm like, why is everyone so surprised? You're literally looking at a couple of YouTubers who are being accused as harassers, as opposed to Anita, who has spoken at the UN. Do you understand this? They're looking at this from a business standpoint. Well, she's been on Colbert, she's done this, she's done that. And then we look at these other people, and they're not known for anything other than what Anita claims them to be. What do you think? Whose side do you think they're going to take? Is it fair? No. And people were like, well, look at this favoritism. Do you realize you're at VidCon, where favoritism reigns king? You understand that, right? It's nothing new. So, yeah. You have to understand that, in this case, I found it funny that they backed Anita. And it was obvious, because I've had this talk a couple months ago, almost a year ago, with people at GamerX, when they wanted to bring Anita there. And I was like, why are you bringing Anita there? Like, I talked to the people who were in charge of that, on Twitter. We got into this Twitter thing. And they pretty much just tried to tell me, you don't know what it feels to be, how it feels to be a victim or even be oppressed or anything like that. Really? Really? I don't know. Yeah, because, Anita, she's had a lot of hate her way on the internet. The internet! So she's never been through no real shit, though. Okay. Yeah. And I had to ask him, I was like, you ever know anyone who's been in the middle of shootouts or anything like that? You know, real victims? How about real rape victims? Have you ever been? Because what Anita is trying to say she's a victim of, and they're trying to say that you know, supersedes real victims. It actually, you know, undermines actual victims. No, they don't want to talk about that, though. No, Anita knows all. And she's going to speak on your behalf. No, the fuck she's not. I speak for myself. I don't need anyone to speak for me. But they don't want to hear that either. You know how that goes. Uppity black man? Can't say that. No, can't say that. You know? I knew right then and there a year ago that this was going to happen. The fact that she was on Colbert, and Colbert had to carry her. The fact that she went to the UN, and the UN actually let her speak. It's like, are you fucking serious? When you look at these things, and you see what they're saying during the times, it's like, this is absolutely insane. But apparently, that's okay. So if it's okay for those places, of course VidCon is going to back her. Now, of course, since this has happened, everyone's like, I'm going to boycott VidCon. So let me get this straight. You didn't have a problem with people acting, you know, a bunch of asshole YouTubers thinking that their shit didn't stink, all right? And I'm not just saying the group that was with Anita. I'm not saying them. No, I'm saying overall, that's what VidCon is about. And the favoritism that VidCon brings, you know, but now that we see who's bigger than who, now it's a problem. Let's boycott it. No, you can't play the moral card now. You can't. And I'm not trying to hear, well, people just wanted to go there and just meet each other and have fun. You could have did that anytime. You didn't need to wait till VidCon. You did that purposely. Okay? And now people are saying, well, we should just get together ourselves. You think? You think? You did that anytime. That's why I said, man, I'm not trying to hear it. And then we have these people who want to try to out-victim the so-called claiming the victims. And yes, I'm talking about Boogie. All right? Which is something that needs to be addressed. Because once again, how fucking stupid can you be? How many times do I have to warn you about this shit, Boogie? But you know what? Let's get into this. You cannot say that you're going to an anti-harassment, you know, anti-bullying panel, and you have this shit written out. All right? Your speech written out or whatever written out. And then you see Anita, and you say, oh no, I have to rewrite this because I don't want to offend Anita. So let me get this straight, all right? You went that speech, and you were fine with it until you saw Anita. So if there was anyone else in the crowd that would be offended by what you would say, fuck them. Just fuck them. Because that doesn't matter. Clearly, that part doesn't matter. But Anita's around, so now you have to adjust. So pretty much you've undermined everyone else that could possibly be offended by what you would say, as opposed to, you know, the Golden Girl. Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? So you're going to put her above everyone else. This is the shit I'm talking about. This is the stupidity that I'm talking about. It's absolutely ridiculous. But she wouldn't take a selfie with me. Yes, there's a reason why she wouldn't. Not because it's personal, because it's business. She can't take a picture with you. Cis white male, And I understand, Boogie, you don't want to step on anyone's toes, which is a bunch of bullshit, because that's not how the real world works. You know, so you'll kiss everyone's ass to stay in their good graces, because let's be real here, okay? That's your business. Same thing with Anita. That's her business. I guarantee you if I was at VidCon, I said, hey, Anita, would you take a picture with me? Regardless on how much I could trash her, guess what? I'm a person of color. She's got to make that profile. She's got to make it even bigger to say, hey, he's on my side because he's a person of color. Doesn't matter what I feel, but the picture says it all. So, yeah, she'd take a picture. You have to understand that not everything's personal. And I see what Anita's doing. It's not hard to see. I mean, it's pretty easy. But for those who don't grasp that concept, like Boogie, you know, it goes to show you, why the fuck do you care about her approval anyway? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And this is why she's big the way she is today. Because we have too many people who have put her on a pedestal. We have too many people in the community that have made her what she is. And now we have some people who want to take her down. Well, it's a little too fucking late for that. Maybe if you weren't acting like a bunch of idiots, I'm going to troll her. Well, guess what? You just gave her ammo. Well, I'm going to say something bad to her. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter now. Because even if you look at her, even if you type something to her now on the internet, it can be labeled as harassment. I mean, if you go there and you just look at her now, it's harassment. Anything else is going to be harassment. Now they're talking, Polygon wrote an article, they're talking about blacklisting people now. They want to get to a point where if you even say anything bad about Anita, that they want to shut you down. Do you understand what's going on here? There's a bigger picture in all this, and not your fucking feelings. But it seems like nobody wants to talk about that. No. No one has any type of insight to even look ahead. and say, hey, this is the setup. No, because you're too busy worried about your fucking selves. I'm not talking to the people who are watching this right now, you know, you guys and girls who are going to talk in the comments about this. No. I'm talking about the fucking idiots who really thought it was okay to approach Anita and think that she was going to do this. Or you have the power to do something and you choose not to because you don't want to step on anyone's toes and your feelings. Fuck out of here. No one has time for that shit. Nobody. Jesus Christ. But this is what VidCon is. Now that Anita is back, because we've seen it for a number of weeks now. Remember, because Anita said she was done with video games, and what did we see? I showed you that they kept trying to push her and push her. We saw it all over Twitter. We were like, why do you keep talking about it? Remember that one site, was it Game Biz, whatever it is? They wrote 3 different articles that day for Anita, and was trying to bring her back to gaming, even though she said she was done. Because they know they need her. And at this point, because her Trump videos have failed horribly, because it really just looks like another hipster talking about Trump, now she's coming back. She's got motive to come back now. So you brought her back. So congratulations. Yeah. That really helps. Like I said, and if anyone wants to say that event, everything you just said, you was just hating. Nah, fuck that. If I wanted to be famous, I could do it too. It's not that fucking hard. Alright? Seriously. Kiss all the right people's asses. Alright, and get sponsored by a company and have them promote the shit out of me. Not that hard. It's really not. Because I guarantee you, a lot of these people that you're seeing who are famous, they don't even have that much great content. They don't. But that's just my opinion. But if you'll call me a hater on that, go ahead, call me a hater. You know what? Let's talk about that right now. How about this? Do you want to become a social media celebrity? Do you want to? Because guess what? Now they have a college degree for that. That's right. All you got to do is enroll in this college. They will teach you how to do it and actually, get a degree on pretty much being a celebrity without having a fucking job. Your job will be to be online and be sponsored and people give you money while you do this. There's a degree for it now. I'll leave it in the info bar. Just to show you now that it's even easier now to be a social media celebrity. Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. Can we move on to games? Can we possibly do... Okay, let's move on to games. I want to talk about Nintendo real quick. Alright, Nintendo... We talked about last time where I said, Splatoon, I was looking forward to Splatoon and ARMS, the tournaments, and they went on great. They were absolutely amazing. Nintendo, I'm trying to figure out why. And you know what? It's not just Nintendo, too. I think it should be across the board. Anything competitive that you have in games today should have a spectator mode. Nintendo, I'm wondering why, when you're playing Mario Kart, alright, that... When you look at spectator mode, you got to look at it from the outside, really. Y'all know how the Wii U was set up. I don't know much about how the Switch is set up, all right? But with spectator mode, it was an absolute joke. It was. You know that. Can you imagine having Mario Kart and trying to commentate it? And we're talking about online games. I'm not talking about at a convention or at a place and running an actual tournament, because you can see what's going on. You can set it up and see what's going on. No, I'm talking about actual online. You know how many games could benefit from spectator mode? It's crazy that we still don't have this as a standard yet. Granted, some places do. I mean, some games do. Don't get me wrong. Some companies have made it known that it needs to be a staple. And I applaud them for that. But you have to understand that not every game has it. And it should be a staple at this point. And I feel as though fans really need to come together and say something about this. They really do. As we know, Splatoon 2 has a spectator mode. We saw that, all right? So that's not a big deal, you know what I mean? But that's why I wanted to, focus on Nintendo, because they're known for not really having much of a spectator mode. They're not much, known for it. So, but let's move on into more games. Since I talked about games, of course, we need to talk about fighting games. Blade Strangers. For those who have not seen this, I'll put it in the info bar. The characters are from Code Princess and Cave Story. That's right. This is a new fighting game that's getting ready to come out. And if you haven't seen it yet, I'll put it in the info bar. Okay? Also, in more news, just to let you know, we need to talk about Ono. Because apparently, Ed Boon is very flattered that Ono will come out and say that Mortal Kombat X was very inspirational to him. And, of course, working with stories in future games. Because people now have gotten to the point where they're focusing on stories in fighting games. Now, of course, as you know, back in the day, we didn't have these type of things. Alright, so... we had story, but it wasn't that big of a deal, you know what I mean? And then it was fleshed out later. That's how it worked. And as we saw, as stories have gone on, because if you're going to praise Ed Boon for MKX, then we got to go back to the other games and say, look, you tried to do story here, and it was horrible, all right? I mean, do we need to go back to MK Mythology Sub-Zero? Do we need to go back to that? I'm just saying, okay. I'm just saying. But let's move on, shall we? I want to move on. I want to talk about what happened not too long ago, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. That's right. And I'm sure that you know what's been going on Twitter. I told you last time I did a video that fans are upset and they realize these pro players or whatever, they're nothing but a bunch of fucking shills. And it's been going on since. And we've seen nothing but shit posting and photoshops and everything that has happened with this game. And just, it's almost beginning to remind me of Devil May Cry, where you're getting these people to say the absolute dumbest shit when it comes to PR, when it comes for this game. And this is what's going to sink your game, Capcom. It seems like you haven't listened at all since then, have you? So let's get started with this. Let's talk about how they just want to come out and say that these characters in these games don't matter, that they're simply just functions. Oh, no. If you're pissed off already, it doesn't stop there. No. Then they claim that your modern Marvel fan may not even remember the X-Men. But no. If that pisses you off, it doesn't stop there either, because the ride never stops. Then you got these sheep-ass fanboys who trying to co-sign it. Ooh, I'm telling you, you have no idea. I really want to use the R word here. I'm not going to, though. I'm not going to. As much as I think I really want, because you can't be this stupid. So, let's go back. Let's take it from the top, shall we? Okay, let's talk about functions versus functions, all right? It doesn't matter about characters and all this type of stuff. All right, so we're going to go back. We're going to way back into time. That's right. Before the internet. I know it's a scary place before the internet. So you can't, you weren't able to see what was going on before then. So let's start. We're not going to start with Marvel vs. Capcom. No. We're not going to go Marvel vs. Capcom 1. We're not even going to go, was it Street Fighter versus X-Men? We're not going to go there, all right? No. Let's go all the way back to X-Men Children of the Atom. How about that? We could go back to Street Fighter 2, was it the Championship Edition? But no. Let's just start with X-Men Children of the Atom, all right? These type of games, back then, because, like I said, you didn't have YouTube to see any video of what it would look like. You didn't have any PR advertising for these games because they didn't exist. Unless you saw them in a game magazine, which is just print. You didn't know how the game actually played and how things moved in frames and stuff like that. You didn't see that shit, alright? So back then, alright, what did Capcom have to do? They had to get good characters on the roster to draw people to the game. That's what they need to do, alright? Functions versus functions infinite. No, I'm not trying to hear that shit, alright? The fact is, you needed popular characters that people loved in order to get them to come to an arcade machine. Because guess what? No one knew how it played yet. Gameplay came second. You needed characters to sell it, to bring people together. Fan favorites, to bring it together, to draw people to a machine and then play it and say, wait a minute, this game's pretty good. I like the gameplay of this, and I got great characters that I love. This is awesome. I can't wait to keep playing this game and feeding it quarters, or you can't wait to the next rendition of the game. That's how it worked. So for you to come out and say that characters doesn't matter, if Magneto's not in, it's not a big deal because Nova has the same stuff. Function versus function, you can replace them skins. You're fucking full of shit. You are. And it's quite clear that this is a PR move, a bad PR move and statement, as opposed to what actually made these games what they are today. How can you forget that? Or is it that you just didn't forget and you don't give a shit? Because that's how I see it. You got to make sure that the company in general, alright, is just... You have to make sure that they're protected before you can sit here and say, you know what, fans? You're absolutely right on this one. Let's be real here. That's what you're doing here. You're trying to sugarcoat this. That's what you're trying to do. And it's not working. Characters mean everything. Now, that's what you said about the functions. I just want to address the functions real quick. Function versus function. What function are you meaning again? Okay, so it doesn't matter. Alright, let's move on to the next one, shall we? Which is, some of these people may not even remember the X-Men. So let me get this straight, okay? Logan just did really, really well in the box office. So people aren't going to remember Wolverine, huh? Not at all. Even though he was just in Marvel vs. Capcom, the Ultimate version and the vanilla version and every other version, because he's a staple character. Okay, we're gonna act like that's not a big deal. All right, we're gonna act like we just don't remember the fucking X-Men all of a sudden. Okay, people have been asking for Rogue back for so long. People have been asking for so many classic characters. There's a reason why you have, and I want to make this very well clear, because if this is not about remembering X-Men or characters in general, then why the fuck do you have DLC? Why do you promote DLC then? Matter of fact, why do you have these reveals of these characters if characters don't matter? You know, oh, well, you're getting Sigma. Oh, wait, X is back. Because dreams come true, right? You've been asking for X for how long? And all of a sudden you get X, but now characters don't matter. So you're going to sit here and tell me, no matter if it's the Capcom side or the Marvel side, because you know what? People may not remember the X-Men, but you're going to tell me they're going to remember that new-ass Captain Commando? You going to tell me they're going to remember that shit? Okay. All right, You've got to be kidding me if you think anyone is buying this brand of bullshit, okay? It's absolutely ridiculous that you would undermine, and actually, technically, you're trying to help the company, but you're hurting the company as well, because like I said, you wouldn't be having these DLC characters. Oh, we're going to make sure you get Black Panther. Yeah, because you know the movie's coming out, so we're going to tie it in, but he's going to be a popular character, but characters don't matter, right? So, tell me again how it doesn't matter. We may not remember the X-Men. So you're going to tell me people have been asking for Gambit for how long? We're not going to talk about that either. I mean, come on. And of course people like Magneto. Of course. You can't sit here and tell me that it doesn't matter. It very much does matter. But, you know, it goes against everything that you've been saying. That's what you've been doing. Because like I said, if that's the case, then we don't need any more characters. You don't need any more DLC. Right? We'll talk about that just in a bit. About the DLC, okay? But you don't need any of these popular characters, right? We don't need Rocket. You didn't need to add him in. We don't need any more Guardians of the Galaxy and all this other shit. We don't need that, right? You should be happy with the demo characters that you have. Because characters don't matter. It's about functions. Right? Alright. And you have people who actually said, this idiot who tried to co-sign it, I play as fucking Barney if you played as Magneto, then you're a fucking idiot then. You really are. You gonna tell me if they added Barney in the game, people's gonna be hyped? Barney, son! He in the game! Nah, no. No one's gonna be hype over that. You and I both know that this is a fucking joke. Why do you think that character selection matters? Why do you think that everyone has these polls and they vote on what characters that they're gonna like? They do statistical runs of this stuff. I wonder who we should put in. Well, we gotta put in Ryu because he's a staple character. Matter of fact, we can put Ryu in Smash. Matter of fact, I believe there's a list of games, fighting games, that Ryu has all been in. And all the opponents that he has fought. But if characters don't matter, then he wouldn't be in the game. Right? Okay. Like I said, it's a fucking joke that you would even say some shit like this. But there's more. Alright? Because when you say stuff like this, clearly it exposes what I've been saying all along about these people trying to back this and how you have drones in this community who will sit here and just eat it the fuck up. They will just eat this shit up, even though they know that this is bad. They know this shit. But it doesn't matter, right? Okay, alright, because they got to make sure that it happens. But here's the best part of this. Given all these players who said, this game is great, and just ignoring all the problems with the game, and people called them out on it, like myself, now you have Eventscrubs comes out, and I'm going to get on Eventscrubs too. Eventscrubs comes out and says, I want you to know this. Eventscrubs says, did you know that advertising on social media in full disclosure is illegal? So it's unlikely that these people would be paid to shill this product. Oh, so you want to go the ethics route now. That's what you want to do, huh, Eventscrubs? So this is the card we're going to play. Okay, so if this is about ethics online, and I'll put it like this, who has cared that much about the ethics online? I want to know. Because it took a number of years to get guys, just on YouTube in general. We're not even talking people who just put out a tweet. No, we're talking about YouTube in general to start, locking down people who, who have to disclose what they've been doing. Right? We've seen this within the Call of Duty community. We've seen this with people, just big YouTubers in general, who had to start disclosing their information. And that's just not too long ago. For you to come out and say that all of a sudden this is about ethics, okay then, Eventscrubs, where were you at during Gamergate? Where were you at for years, huh? Since you want to play the ethical card now. Because they would have to, disclose everything and the journalistic integrity of everything. Because let's be honest here, we still have a lot of people out there who call themselves journalists and say, fuck the ethics, fuck the rules. Hello, hipster shill gamer, because he's admitted it. You have to understand, people, that you just can't play this card. And if you want to say, okay, fine. You know what? Maybe they're not being paid. But guess what? Then they're still stuck in a box because it makes them look like they're just raving fanboys who just do this. And here's the thing, all right? I won't even call them raving fanboys. It's still business, a favor for a favor. You want to know why? Because the pros that you have seen that have been plugging this throughout the moon, they're the ones that are most popular known for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I'm saying not for Infinite, for Ultimate, right? And Vanilla, right? This is where they made their name. People like Filipino Champ, let's be honest here. He was the guy for a long time when it came to Marvel, right? Okay. So, with this said, you have to understand, a favor for a favor. If we help sell this game with Capcom, guess what? That also pushes us back into the limelight. It keeps us in the limelight because we're known for this game. Favor for a favor. So if you're going to sit here and tell me that no business is being done here, you're fucking stupid. Alright? They are shilling. It's not that hard to see it. There's ways to go about it, alright? Without the legal precedence about it. You don't think that Capcom isn't taking notice? Remember when they said, a couple years ago when Marvel came out, before Ultimate came out, where they were saying, we're going to listen to more pros on the issue when it comes to this, as opposed to the casuals. And the casuals were like, wait a minute, why are you listening to them? The casuals make up more of your fan base, and they buy more of your product. The pros, yeah, they're good, but they can't be the end-all, be-all. Remember, this was a legit discussion. So you can't sit here and tell me that Capcom isn't paying attention to what these guys are saying. Okay? Seems like people have very short-term memory on this type of stuff. It's amazing. But I want you to see more about what the fans are saying on this issue, because they went right at Eventscrubs on this and said, look, maybe they're not being paid, but we don't trust them after what happened with Street Fighter V. Oh, look, speaking of Street Fighter V real quick, alright, just want to let you know that in that very same interview where they talk about, functions, and you may not remember the X-Men, because it's really diarrhea of the mouth at this point. It's become infectious at this point. It's almost like an epidemic. They talk about Street Fighter V, and they say that Street Fighter V wasn't the easiest to pick up. So let me get this straight. I want to get this straight. A game that you promoted as being for casuals, and you said this game, Street Fighter V, is for casuals because even if you're casual, you can still do well and play with the pros. A game that was designed for casuals, you're now admitting wasn't easy enough to pick up for casuals to play. Are you fucking serious? Are you serious, Cap? This is what we're going on now. This is the backward shit that we've talked about with Street Fighter V. For a year, I told you how Street Fighter V was. I told you that, they didn't know what they wanted to do. They wanted to cater to casuals, but yet they put it in the pro circuit. They wanted to make sure that, Capcom Pro Tour was, pushed out first. That's why you didn't get all those features, and, make sure it was ready for EVO to push the hype, as opposed to the casuals they were supposed to be catering to. Then, as time went along, Season 2 came, the pros were like, this is bullshit. We spent a year playing this game, and now you've changed it, and now you're going back to casuals. So then you had the casuals who were pissed off at you, and the pros who were pissed off at you. So Street Fighter V is just straight in the center, and just in limbo. Now you're admitting it wasn't easy enough for casuals to pick up on. And which you were warned before, don't cater to casuals, they just have to learn it like everyone else. But you didn't want to do that. Now it blew up in your face. Of course, with all the advertising and all the hype, as you saw with those tweets, as you said, can't be trusted after what happened with Street Fighter V. But there's more. That's right. In the very same interview, they talk about the DLC. And I said we get back to this, right, from Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. And when they're asked questions, well, who's coming and all this type of stuff, they say, you know what? The game is called Infinite for a reason, because the possibilities of DLC is infinite. Yeah, years upon years of DLC. That means as time goes on, they'll also make their fixes, because as we know, the game looks bad as it is. We're not even going to talk about the facial animation, because they've already come out and they've admitted Chun-Li looks horrible. Her face is horrible. And I'm thinking to myself, did you see the way she walked with her thighs? You're not going to fix that either? But Chun-Li's face isn't the only face that looks horrible. There's a lot of problems that game has, okay? But they've admitted that. They even said it's disgusting. But for you to say that the DLC is coming and it's going to be years and almost infinite, again, why do you need the DLC? Because, as you know, function versus function, you don't need popular DLC, right? But they're going to bring it to you anyway to keep getting your money. That's why. They're going to play on your fan emotions and say, hey, we got this character. You love this character. You want to buy this character. But then already said in the interview, hey, characters don't matter. And people still gonna fall for this shit. They still gonna fucking fall for it. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my God. I've never seen such ass-backwards PR in my life. Like I said, Devil May Cry was bad. I think this is worse. I don't know. This is still start. Was it the game comes out in September? Yeah. But there's more. That's right. Because since Eventscrubs like to, they like to, like to try and shield, everyone, like Captain America, want to shield these pro players or whatever from this type of criticism. All right, check this out. Eventscrubs highlights players' joke and says that maybe it was prophetic about Street Fighter V. Now look, the person that they highlight, even he said on his Twitter, he was like, oh fuck no. He was like, who sent this shit to Eventscrubs? He's like, who did? So he was pissed off about this. But let's get something straight here, all right? Because you targeted that player, but for a year or so, all right? I've been calling this straight down the middle, and nothing, right? No article there. I find it funny that you can keep getting these articles where you can say people have predicted this, or that there's a villain role in fighting games, but when it comes to serious issues like this one, when you're being fucking hustled when it comes to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, you don't want to talk about that. Nah. You don't give a shit about your community. That's right. And I'm saying that about Eventscrubs. You don't give a shit about your community. Everything that you do is either tailored to pro players or companies. And it shows. Call someone out on their bullshit for once. Seriously, how do you not see this? You see it right in the fucking interview. And like I said, this interview I will put in the info bar so you can read it in full for yourself. But you can't tell me that you don't see this. That you're just going to turn a blind eye and say, this is okay. We won't address this. Instead, we'll defend them and say, they're not shills. It's unlikely that it's happening. Instead of looking at all the aspects and what has to be gained through everybody in this. You can't be that fucking stupid. But then again, a lot of our community is that fucking stupid. Unreal. So Eventscrubs, I'm just waiting. I mean, I've been predicting shit since, 2010? Where's my article? Howdy, no article. I'm just saying, it's hilarious that we're still doing this. It is. I've done this with Street Fighter. I've done this with Marvel vs. Capcom. Before, when I addressed the vanilla and all of a sudden to the ultimate issue. And remember, I did a video saying, this game needs help. It needs fixes. There's a lot of problems. And a lot of people jumped on me and said, nope, you're wrong, you dirty nigger. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about and all this. And then they made the fixes. Yeah. You gotta love this. Oh, man. It's just, like I said, if you look at the video last week when I talked about this stuff, and you look at this week, actually last gaming video as opposed to this gaming video, you notice it just progresses. It just goes up because it keeps showing you. Like I said, it gets called every time. Every fucking time. Because it's not hard to see. Seriously, it's not. But these are the people that you praise. These are the sites that you go to, and keep giving them traffic. So technically, the community, just letting you know, that you're partially responsible for this. Alright? I know you don't like to hear that, but everyone has to take responsibility. Alright? Everyone. You just keep it like, nah, it's not my fault, it's his fault. Nah. It's amazing. But these are the people we have around us. So when someone else calls someone a garbage human being, I'm like, yeah, have you looked around late? Have you looked around as of late? Have you seen what's the gain by all these other things and how people are using others or playing off their emotions or their fan appeal or whatever? You got to look at it for what it is. You have to remember that Marvel vs. Capcom, when it started, was a dream matchup. The dream match crossover, blah, blah, blah. All these great characters. Now they coming out and saying, characters don't mean shit. So for all those years when those characters carried you, didn't matter, huh? That's a bunch of bullshit. I'm sure even Capcom read that and was like, whoa, what the fuck did you just say? So yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. And of course, the people that are saying that, you should never trust them ever again. I mean, if you ever trusted them before, but you should never trust them again. But of course, short-term memory, or free passes because of their popularity, and that'll be it. And you don't tell me there's not a problem with this community. Okay. Let's move on. In more news. Because like I said, I don't care if Marvel vs. Capcom, if it does well. I already told you how I feel about it. It's not great, but it's not horrible, but it's not great either. It's not to the point where it's like, oh my god, I have to get out there and get this just because a bunch of idiots are out there promoting it, and praising it to the moon does not mean that it's going to make up my decision. You know what I mean? I have my own opinions. You know what I mean? They're not going to get in my wallet and be like, hey, this is what you should do if you want to be part of Cool Kids Club. Because if you're not, then you're just a piece of shit rat bastard who doesn't know what they're doing, filthy casual. No, we're not getting into that. Yeah, that peer pressure. Yeah, we're not even going to talk about that. And Capcom has been known to do that. And their fans. And not just with fighting games. Let's move on, shall we? Bamco, to open up, Dragon Ball Z. Apparently, they're open to Dragon Ball Z being ported to the Switch if the fan demand is there. Now, of course the fan demand is going to be there. Of course, why wouldn't it be? But then again, Dragon Ball Z, look at all these characters. I can't wait to play as said character. But characters don't matter. Okay, Marvel. But, like I said, this is one of those things where if there's if enough fan demand and they're just trying to gauge to see if Nintendo fans want it, I'm sure Nintendo fans are going to want it. Not the fact that, it's just Dragon Ball, but the fact that they just want more games to their console. So yeah, they're going to support it. It's just that simple. Now, we'll see what the numbers look like afterwards, but if this game is going to be as great as many of us have seen, are looking into it to be, and what do you think? 20% that game was done already. 20%, and it looked like that. I can only imagine what it's going to look like at 100%, as opposed to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite at 100%. Okay, all right. Like I said, I'm sure Nintendo Switch fans are going to want that. I'm sure it's going to take a while to be ported because they got to set up buttons and all that type of stuff, but I'm sure they'll get to that. You know what I mean? Not a problem. Anyways, let's move on to the fighting game of the week. That's right. Now, a lot of people remember this game, and there's a reason why I'm showing this game today. All right? Some of you have requested this, for a while, and I just let it go because I wanted to see where it was going to go. So I guess we should talk about Eternal Champions. This game was so bad that it was good. I mean, are we supposed to forget that? I mean, let's be real here. Now, if you're going to ask me if this game deserves a remake, nah, it doesn't deserve a remake. You want to know why? Because it's getting a sequel. And that's why I want to talk about, exactly why I want to show it today. Because for those who don't know, new Eternal Champions sequel has a working title name, which is Eternal Successors. Now, of course, I knew that this game was coming out sequel-wise since April. April, dog. But the fact is, I wanted to see where it was going to go if we want to get any more news. And the only thing we have so far still is that it's going to be called Eternal Successors. And for those who are interested in this, there are some mock-up screenshots for it. So I'll put that in the info bar as well for you. So we will see if Eternal Champions can actually make it. If it will be, dare I say, welcomed into the fighting game community. I mean, granted, as you know how I feel, welcome all these games. All these games coming, it's great because it makes your community bigger. But as we know, there's some people who like to be elitist and say, oh no, we can't play this game because we play this game. And that's absolute shit. You play any game that you want. And you can play every game if you want. Because that's what our community was about. It wasn't about just sticking to one game. So when you hear a person, oh, what game does he play? How about all of them? How about all of them? Oh, I forgot. That's not a thing anymore. You have to be specific one game. It's absolutely stupid. And it goes to show you that a lot of people have, number one, they don't have any social skills. Number two, they don't have any brains. And number three, they don't have the experience of playing multiple games. Because you're sitting online and playing one game consistently and saying, this is the game, this is what I'm going to be known for, and no other game. As if you can't, every other game you touch is going to be cancer. It's absolutely ridiculous. Give these games a try. Have fun with them. But I forgot, fun. What's that? Yeah, I forgot. Speaking of fun, let's move on. let's talk about something outside of the FGC, alright? Let's talk about the Super Nintendo. Nintendo again! Yeah, let's talk about this, alright? Now, as you know, Nintendo just not too long ago announced that they're coming out with a Super Nintendo, SNES Classic Edition, you know, a mini, just like the Nintendo, the NES they came out with. And it's going to have X amount of games or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, I still have 2 Super Nintendos and a ton of games. And the games that are listed here, I have those games. What's the promise of me buying this? What's the point of me buying this if I still have the carts for these games and stuff? I'm just wondering. Because, I mean, if worse comes to worse, you're going to say, well, you can, you know, put them online, you can stream them or whatever. Why didn't I just do that with an emulator? I mean, they've been around for so long. Nintendo is just, once again, this is just a cash grab. I told you that this was going to happen before. Others have done this on their podcasts and all. You know, when the first NES came out, we talked about this, and people were like, yep, they're going to come out with an SNES, and they have now. And I guess people are going to run and buy it for, what, $80, $90, something like that? And it's like, why? You can get these games with no problem now. Well, you should support the developer. I already had these games once. I supported them in their heyday, when they were expensive. Alright? I'm not going to buy it again and bundle them with a bunch of games. You don't update them at all. No, this is what you get, and that's it. Like, no. I have these games. If worse comes to worse, I can just emulate them. You know what I mean? So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not worried about it. So, yeah. But Super Punch-Out, for those who have not played Super Punch-Out, stellar game. Please play Super Punch-Out. It's a great game. Alright? Of course, the other games that are on there, they're kind of run-of-the-mill, you know, your Super Mario and all that type of stuff. We know that. Alright? So, let's move on. We'll come back to Nintendo as well, alright? Because, once again, things that I said last gaming video will be talked about in this gaming video, okay? But, let's move on. Let's talk about GTA 5. For those who don't know, alright? GTA 5 parent company backs off of modding. That's right, given the fan backlash. Now, as you know, they cut out modding for GTA 5, and fans went nuts. And once again, showing you that if a community comes together and they say, look, this is wrong, and we don't appreciate this, companies will buckle. And what we're seeing, again, they're backing off now, and they're bringing back your mods for GTA 5. So now fans can mod GTA 5 all the fuck they want. Alright? It's a victory for the community. Too bad you can't get more people like this, you know, together in the community and complain. You know what I mean? And say, no, they're putting our foot down, this is it. Nope, won't do that. But it's good to see GTA 5 community, you know, they did that. Yeah, that's great. Now, let's move on. Alright? Let's talk about Dauntless. Now, for those who don't know, Dauntless is, dare I say, a Monster Hunter clone. Now, of course, the article that I have in the info bar says it's not a Monster Hunter clone. It's not a mere Monster Hunter clone. Look, we have seen this for a while now. Alright, certain games come out and then they get clones of it. I mean, let's be honest, when you look at these franchises, Monster Hunter, which you saw with Tekken 2, Dauntless, there's been a number of other games, also indie games, that also, you know, try to take from Monster Hunter, alright? And so that's a big one. We see the Demon Souls / Dark Souls type gameplay style in a lot of games now, do we not? So that's a thing. Also, I mean, some could probably make the case for Overwatch being cloned as well. You know what I mean? So, because I mean, like I said, Cliffy B coming out with this new game? I really thought it was just Overwatch with some skins. I mean, it looks just like it. So it's one of those things where you just see, you know, I don't want to say cloning, but maybe parody, I guess? Would you call it parody? I mean, I don't know. But we will see what happens in the future. Dauntless apparently isn't a mere Monster Hunter clone. But it's good that at least we get these type of games. Because, I mean, I put it like this. Where other people feel as though Monster Hunter, and I'm, as you know, I'm a big Monster Hunter fan, where Monster Hunter fails, other games actually, you know, highlight it. So they go to those games. So you still have options. And that's what it should always be about. Options. We've seen this time and time again. That's like, I put it like this. I don't want to say too much games are clones these days, because if that's the case, let's just say today you make a side-scrolling game, right? And it's somewhat like Contra. You're going to be compared to Contra, are you not? You know what I mean? Oh, it's a side-scrolling game. Or Russian Attack. You know, oh, you'll be compared to Russian Attack. And it's absolutely ridiculous that that would happen. You know what I mean? When games have a specific type of platform, a different type, specific type of play style, you have these things where, you know, it happens. It just does. And as far as I'm concerned, it's one of those things that should be applauded as opposed to looked down on. Now, of course, if you don't like the way those games are going about it, they're just going to clone it and it's bad, well, then of course you're going to sit here and you're going to, you know, complain about it. But until then, you know, you just keep it moving. That's what you do, all right? So let's move on, shall we? Let's talk about Scalebound. I need to talk about this. I need to talk about Scalebound. Because Microsoft, I didn't think that 2 videos in a row, you could be this fucking stupid. I just didn't think it was possible. So, for those that don't know, alright? right? Because we slightly talked about Scalebound before, but now we know the real reason why Scalebound was canceled. And for those who don't know, the reason why Scalebound was, well, at least what Phil Spencer says, the reason that Scalebound was canceled was because of fan demand. Yes, sir. I didn't think that you would be this stupid to blame the fans. So let me get this straight. Fans get hyped because they want a game, all right? And then you say, no, we're not going to bring out this game because the expectations are too high to meet. Are you serious? So Xbox fans who have been waiting for this game because they're saying, hey, look, this could be a staple game. This is something we, because, let's be real here. Xbox doesn't have that many exclusive games. You know what I mean? They don't, and they don't have that many, games. I mean, Call of Duty, stuff like that, a lot of third party. But Scalebound, people were looking forward to. So those fans were like, yeah, we're going to back it, we're going to hype it, and we're going to get so excited for it, we can't wait. And he told me a company who receives hype and says, okay, wait, these fans are willing to put their money down on it, let's cancel it because we can't handle this hype. I have never, ever in my life have seen this. Platinum Games wouldn't be able to meet that expectation. Really? Really? Platinum Games? Okay. So, we're just going to act like, Bayonetta doesn't exist or Metal Gear Rising doesn't, Revengeance or Rise, whatever we're going to call it, doesn't exist. And I'm talking strictly from a mechanical standpoint. Of course, some people had problems with, those games. They didn't like them for specific reasons. But overall, they were great games. You can't sit here and tell me that it wouldn't meet expectations. You cancel a game because it has too much hype. I've never in my life. You just threw your entire fan base under the fucking bus. That's what you did. And there's still people to this day who's going to support Xbox. You still, after that, regardless if you were going to buy the game or not, you could be an Xbox fan and say, I didn't have any interest in this game anyway. But the fact that they would cancel a game because the fans wanted it too much, they just took the community and threw it under the bus. And you're still part of that community. You understand it, right? Okay. That is the dumbest. Oh my god. Let's move on, shall we? Let's move on. Now, I talked about Super Mario Odyssey last gaming video, did I not? And I said, this game reminds me of, 64, Mario 64, or even Sunshine, GameCube 64 type stuff like that. And, for those who don't know in news, alright, Super Mario Odyssey Possession has been modded into Super Mario 64. Just saying. All you gotta do is look at the history. That's all you gotta do. Not just the history of what I'm saying, but the history of the games. And what they feel like. That's all it is. If you played these games, you have that experience, then you know exactly what it feels like. I said, Odyssey looked like, reminded me of 64. Now they're doing a mod for 64. Okay. Alright. And more Super Mario news. And we've had this talk before when we did a lot of tech stuff. Alright? I've always talked about the HoloLens, have I not? And I said, regardless you see all this VR stuff, the HoloLens actually looks like it's going to bring something to the table. And then we saw, some of the functions of the HoloLens where they were putting you on the moon and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, this is next level stuff, augmented reality. However, once we saw the price tag for the HoloLens, we were all like, nah, that's okay. Because they want, what, 3,000 plus for it? Yeah, nope, sorry, nope. However, HoloLens has been used again for gaming. I told you before, it's not just about gaming. You can do other things with it. But this guy, and if you haven't seen this, I'll put the link in the info bar, alright? The HoloLens in Super Mario has been recreated on the HoloLens, first person. So this guy is in the park, alright, with his Mario outfit on. He's got the HoloLens on. You can see what he's seeing at the time. There's two different cameras. His camera, or what he sees in the HoloLens being recorded, and someone on the outside recording him as people are walking by, and him jumping over stuff and stomping on mushrooms and stuff. It's only like a 4-minute video or something like that, but it's really well done. And I feel as though, again, the HoloLens could be a big deal given in the right hands. And remember, when I talked about this before, about tech, it hasn't always been just about gaming. It's always been about helping others and, like I said, and experiencing different things. So, as we know, the Kinect was Spy Machine Kinect. Remember, they made that to help people with the visually disabled. So, it goes to show you that with the HoloLens, you put it in the right hands, and it can be a monster. It can be an absolute asset to this society. It can. But Microsoft is asking way too much for it. They have to drop the price on that. They have to. Alright? But like I said, if you're interested in that video, link will be in the info bar. Also, in more news, Anthem. Let's talk about this. You want to talk about getting your money? As we know, Destiny and Ubisoft have come out and said that Destiny is going to be a 10-year deal. You know what I mean? They're going to support it for 10 years, and they're going to keep getting you for 10 years. Well, it has been announced that Anthem will also have the same 10-year plan. So here we go. All right? Same 10-year plan. Just going to keep getting you for your money. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. This is, they see a model, a business model, and they run with it. And they're hoping that you buy into it. And we see this time and time again. I mean, do I need to talk about all the different business models that people had tried to jump on at one point and then failed? I mean, we could just talk about used games and online passes. I mean, that alone is enough. You know what I mean? But the microtransactions, the DLCs, I mean, and things that have stuck because people are stupid, they have stuck, and then you have others that simply didn't. Now, like I said before, with DLC and stuff like that, look, if it's an expansion worthy, then it's worth buying. All right? But don't give me this shit that you're going to charge me $4 for a fucking costume. That's bullshit. You know what I mean? Trying to get you for your money. Or we have the shit already on the disc. We're just going to lock it till you buy it. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of scumbag tactics, all right? Konami. I'm going to put 2 different links in the info bar for this one. All right? Konami is punishing Kojima and other ex-employees for leaving the company. I have never, in my life, seen a company so petty that you're down blacklisting people from companies and saying, no, don't work with these people. And then they have to venture out and make their own companies and say, well, they'll never succeed because they don't have the backing that we had. Konami is absolutely ridiculous. And as far as I'm concerned, first off, Konami doesn't even have anything that any of us wants. You killed Silent Hill. You haven't given us a Contra that's been good in I don't know how long. I mean, come on. I mean, some people say, well, Uprising, don't start. Don't start. Okay? You haven't given us, you were solely, let's be real here, you were solely reliant on Metal Gear, and now you're having this Metal Gear Survive, and these people are like, it's actually not that bad. Fuck that. Fuck that. Metal Gear, no, I don't care. I don't. Konami, the way you have gone about this, when these people have made you tons and tons of money and tons of popularity, these developers, it's almost like you have the same problem that Capcom had and the same problem that Square had for a long time. You got so big till you got to this ego point and was like, hey, we can survive without you. And then you just had this thing where like, developers like, okay, see, you don't appreciate my work? See ya. I'll go somewhere else. But Konami is just taking it to a completely different level. Oh, you want to leave us? We're going to make sure you never work in this industry again. There is nothing that Konami can throw at me right now that says, hey, buy our game. Why? So those developers, later down the line, once they see they're being treated like shit, you can throw them to the wolves too? No. That is not how you do business. It's just not. That's absolutely ridiculous. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, that hashtag that was going around, fuck Konami, yeah, I'm for that. I'm absolutely for that. I have never seen a company, and we've seen a number of companies just in this video, just be stupid in general. But that is just prime scumbag. Scumbag prime, yeah, I know. But it just is. You've got to be kidding me that you would blacklist somebody from that. Because, okay, you had them on your roster for years upon years upon years. They've done all this stuff. You've made a lot of money. Okay, now it's time to part. It's time to part. And then you want to get all mad and act like this? That's disgusting. That's disgusting. So Konami, yeah. I don't care. Where's my new Castlevania, Konami? Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like I said, I'll wait for Ritual to come out. I'll wait for that one to come out. It's absolutely, it's ridiculous. Konami, I'm done with you. I'm done with you. I just am. I'm tired of it. I am. It's very rare, it's very little things that you've done right in the previous, I'm going to say at least 5 to 7 years. Very little things you've done right. So, yeah, it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Anyways, I think I'm done for today. Because y'all said last time, I didn't do it last time, my final thoughts. My final thoughts on this is that this week has been so easy to talk about, like I said before in the beginning, because of how people have acted. But the thing is, when people act this way, for some reason, on the internet, there are no consequences. I don't understand how we've gotten to this point now where you can be, like I said before, it's okay to be fans of people, but you still got to be able to call them on their bullshit. You have to be. It's absolutely ridiculous that now it seems like our community has just turned into one mass groupie circle jerk. That's what it seems like. Oh, well, certain person is this. I'm just going to believe them. Their voice is the gospel. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You should have a brain for yourself. You should know when you're being hustled. And if people who have not experienced this already, if they have experienced this already, they should be taking you to the side and saying, hey, look, this is what they're doing. This is what you need to look out for. But instead, everyone is worried about themselves. And I don't understand that. I don't. And then when there's finally a bunch of people that say, hey, this is fucking wrong, we're not going to support this, then they are degraded. Not only by the company, not only by the big players, all right, or the bigger YouTubers, but you've got to be kidding me that you can't see the truth for what it is. Seriously, VidCon, like I said before, nothing but a bunch of people who, let's be real here, all right, their videos mean nothing in the real world. All right? Majority don't know. So you have to create this convention so that you seem like you got some type of fucking worth. And that was from, I'm not saying the YouTubers, I'm just saying from the people who created the convention, because they thought there could be some money made out of it. And of course now, after years being there, now people want to say, this is what it took to say, nope, we're going to walk away from it. How much you want to make a bet? Next year, people still going to be there. How much you want to make a bet? No way is this going to close down completely. At least I don't think. People were talking about not too long ago, is this going to be a shutdown or something? I don't know. Conventions like this, unless you really have a mass, everyone's together and just in mass and say, look, nope, you're done. Because it's funny. Because when the shit happened in Calgary, all right, and they were, blacklisting people, that's still going on, right? Well, we forgot all about that, right? That convention. This is the new shit now. So we're going to forget about that one. If you haven't seen what's being played and what's going on here and how business is run, I don't understand how you support this shit. I don't understand it. Maybe one of you can tell me. Because I will never go to VidCon. Ever. Not because I'm not popular enough. Because I think it's a fucking joke. That's why. It's bad enough that these people already go to these other conventions and they're billed at these conventions because, they get paid to speak at these panels and stuff. You've got to be kidding me. All this shit going on, and y'all don't see the hustle? Of course it's going to keep going, because they got to keep their money going. Because without these places, they go back to what they were. Then they need to donate to the Patreon or to the GoFundMe, and then you have these goals, and then you don't meet said goal. But it doesn't matter, because you're so popular now that you're untouchable. It's a fucking joke. It is. But, of course, consequences. It's only on the internet where, they don't have to, no one has to see those things. In real life, it's different. But in that make-believe land, like I said, a convention in that small little circle of world, all right, that internet, that mentality, it spills over into it. And they're untouchable. Try that shit anywhere else? No, it doesn't. You got companies lying to you, PR guys lying to you, but because they're popular people, we should give them a pass. I never understood what makes people so popular. Are they good at games? Yeah, I don't think that people want to sit and deny that they're good. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden you should have my firstborn and all this other bullshit. That's crazy. That's absolutely ridiculous. They play games just like you. They press buttons just like you, just a bit faster. It's stupid. All of it is. You should be playing games to have fun. And all I've seen throughout my time in the previous 2 weeks or so, maybe about a month, on Twitter. Throughout my time on Twitter, and then this month, it's been nothing but arguing about said gender, about said politics, and this is within games, of course, and some doesn't have to do anything with games. But my timeline is flooded with this shit. Not to mention my timeline is also flooded with a bunch of egotistical assholes who play Smash and other fucking fighting games. I don't know why you follow him. I like this. Why the fuck would you like that? He's acting like a dick. I don't get it. I think our community needs a hard rewire. But you know what? That's my opinion. I can't force anybody to do it. You know what I mean? So until the community decides to wake up, because I've been saying this shit for years, they guys wake up, it's time for me to just be like, all right, go, you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't care. There's no point. Because I can keep showing you this shit over and over and over again, and all people do is make fucking excuses for it. Justify the shit. It's right there in your fucking face. And yet, again, turn a blind eye. Whatever. Look, if you're a fan of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and you say, I'm going to buy this game simply because I like the game, because I don't think it's that big of a deal, hey, I'm not going to get on you for that. You know what I mean? That's your money. That's your decision. But when you see these type of things being said, come on. Even you know it's full of shit. Instead of just saying, I don't know why y'all getting all mad over this. I play as Barney. Get the fuck out of here with that. That's just simple co-signing. That's dick riding. That's what the fuck that is. If you say, look, regardless of how you feel, I'm still going to buy the game because I like the game. You got to respect that. That's your money. You know what I mean? But if you try to, like I said, you try to go outside your means and do something else, nah, fuck out of here with that. Anyways, I'm done. I'm going to go play some Overwatch because you know what? I'm sick of the rest of this other bullshit. Like I said, so while y'all argue with this shit, I'll be playing Overwatch. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. Until next time, I'm out.